All right. So everybody wants to start a business and it can be exciting, right? Because you have all of these ideas in your head and you can't wait to go out into the world and unleash your ideas and affect hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands and possibly millions of people and get the rewards that come to you from doing that. But at the same time, starting a business can also be very, very scary. It can be very, very confusing, especially if you are starting out the first time and you have nobody to mentor you or guide you along the way. And even when you have someone guiding you, it can be really, really hard and very, very overwhelming and frustrating. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 10 of the top questions that I get asked. New entrepreneurs ask me these questions all the time. So I'm going to answer those 10 questions and share with you things I have gleaned from my own journey and I've gleaned from my own mentors. And hopefully they are things that you can apply to your own life and your own business and use it to make very, very good success. So let's get started. The very first question is, where do I even start if I want to build a great business? Where do I start? And I always tell people, especially new entrepreneurs, if you want to start a business and you don't know where to start, what you need to do is to get a sheet of paper, get a pen, and I don't mean like a notepad on your laptop or your phone or anything like that, right? What I mean is get like a real sheet of paper, get a pen and start writing out the problems that you have observed, the problems that you have experienced, the problems that you have seen other people experience, the problems that you have seen or heard other people complain about. It's always good to start with a problem when you're starting out in business. Why? Because all of the great businesses that have been built in this world were built out of trying to solve a problem. Think about it. Think about it. Any great business you know about, whether they are similar, right? Take, for example, pizza. Before Domino's Pizza came into existence, there were already pizza businesses. In fact, there were already pizza franchises. But guess what? When you order the pizza from the existing franchises and pizza houses at the time, it will take almost forever for the pizza to get to you. So what was the problem? The problem was you are hungry, you don't have time to cook, or you don't have the desire to cook something. So you go and order, or you pick up your phone and call a restaurant, a pizza restaurant, and you order a pizza because you want to eat something really, really fast. And 1 hour later, the pizza is not still with you. 2 hours later, the pizza is not still with you. So maybe 3 hours later, the pizza delivery person now finally gets to you. Now, what will have happened in 3 hours? It's either you will have gone really, really hungry, or you will have said, you know what, to hell with it. I'm just going to go ahead and find something else to eat. But you would have spent money that now you are now kind of really, really pissed off that you spent. So the founder of Domino's Pizza looked at this problem because that is a genuine problem, because it wasn't just one person that had this problem. It was hundreds and even thousands of people who had this same problem. And he said, how do I solve this problem? And he came up with a unique solution. And he said, I am going to start a pizza restaurant that guarantees pizza delivery in 30 minutes or less, or the pizza is free. So he went out there, he started his pizza restaurant franchise, and he boldly went out to the public and said, if you order pizza from Domino's, we are going to deliver your pizza to you within 30 minutes, or the pizza is free. Well, guess what happened? Everybody said, you know what, we are going to try that. So they went out and picked up the phones and they started ordering the pizzas, or they walked into the restaurant and they ordered the pizzas. And indeed, the pizza got to them within 30 minutes. And where it didn't get to them within 30 minutes, they didn't have to pay for it. And it blew up because now word of mouth took over and people began to tell their friends, their families, and they began to tell their co-workers and every other person who would care to listen. And today, we have a worldwide franchise that is recognizable all over the world called Domino's Pizza. So, if you want to start a business, I suggest that you start with problems. because problems are the things that birth great businesses. In trying to solve problems that a lot of people have, and you have to make sure that it's not just a tiny, finite amount of people who have these problems. You have to make sure that it is an infinite amount of people who have these problems, and that more and more people, as they are born and they grow up, they're very possibly going to have these problems going forward. So you build a business around solving that problem, and bam, you have something great and something very, very tangible that you can build a business around. All right, question number 2, and it says, do I need a lot of money to start? Okay, so this is a question that has a double-barreled answer, and that answer is no and yes. But let's talk about the no first. So if you are starting out brand new, first time, I do not think you should start your business with money. In fact, you should start it with no money. And the reason is because what you still have at this point is just an idea. It doesn't mean that your idea is going to turn into something real and something big. So you just have an idea. And like the saying goes, ideas are a dime a dozen. Everybody and their cousin can come up with an idea. The point is coming up with something that is bankable. And how do you know that your idea is bankable? You test it. So what you need to do is you start with no money. You create a prototype, create a version 1.0, if you will, right? And go test selling that prototype. And you do that by tapping into the resources that you have, right? Tap into your network of people that you know, your family, your friends, your people in church, people in your social groups that you socialize with, people at your workplace, right? Ask them their opinion of what you have created. Let them tell you what they think. Now, some people are going to be very, very negative and tell you the wrong things, maybe depending on their mood or maybe because they're jealous or whatever. Doesn't matter. The important thing is that you look at every single response that you get very, very constructively and decide what to accept and what to throw away. And when you're accepting or throwing away, you have to be brutally honest with yourself. Don't just throw something away simply because you think somebody said it because you were jealous. Think about it constructively, because sometimes the negative response is actually the response that you need, because it tells you that this is not an idea that's going to work, so that you can trash it and go start something new, right? So look at every response critically, sell them the thing. Tap into social media. You have followers, your friends have followers, your family members have followers, people in your network, they have followers. Use their networks and promote your version 1.0. Tap into free resources online. Go to YouTube and learn everything you need to learn about promoting your business without having to buy paid courses. Tap into everything and every avenue that lets you get started without spending any money. Now, when you see demand, you can now begin to think of now putting money into it. You can now begin to think of now putting your savings into it. You can now begin to think of approaching people to invest in your idea. And the reason why testing your prototype or your version 1.0 is a great way to start is that even if you want people to fund your business or to invest in your idea, they want to see that it already has traction. They want to see that it's bankable. They want to see that this idea is not just something that is a figment of your imagination. They want to see that you have started something and that it is working, and that if they now pump fuel, aka funds, into it and back it with their experience, that it is going to grow really, really big. They want to see that first. If you don't give them that, a lot of them are not willing to get behind it. All right. So that is the no. Now, the yes part is that yes, you need money, but that is after you have tested. So you can now use your personal savings. You can now go to family and friends to ask them for money. You can now approach investors and all of that to ask them for money. But you start with no money first. Test your idea. If it's bankable, start working it before you now start going to look for money. So question 3 is, how do I pick the right business idea? All right. So picking the right business idea is basically a trifecta of things, right? It's like, if you know what a Venn diagram is, everything is three parts, and those three parts align at the middle, and you want your idea to come from that alignment in the middle. And these three parts are passion, it is skills, and it is demand. Now, we are going to start with demand. So demand means that you are sure that people are going to buy this thing. People are going to buy it. You know people are going to buy it. When Elon Musk decided to build an electric car, he wasn't starting with something brand new. People had been driving cars since the 1910s, right? So when he got involved with Tesla as a car company, he didn't try to invent something new. And that is the problem. A lot of new entrepreneurs try to invent something new. They think that innovation is the way out, but it's not true. Every product that you see is an improvement of something that is old. Every new product you see, doesn't matter what it is an improvement of something that has already existed, right? It is just a new way, a new iteration, a new model, if you will, of something old. Mobile phones were the new iteration of regular dial phones. And regular dial phones, even though they looked like something brand new at the time, were basically a better rendition of the telegraph. And the telegraph was simply a better rendition of mouth-to-mouth messaging, right? These are just improvements that are layered on improvements that are layered on improvements. And now who knows what we're going to have after mobile phones? Who knows? I don't know. You don't know. But whatever it is, hopefully we're going to still be around to see what it is and to enjoy it. So, say using the Tesla example, cars have been sold since the 1910s. So what did the Tesla car company do? They said, now, instead of building cars that run on gasoline, we are going to build cars that run on electric power, solely on electric power. You charge it, you slot a battery in there, charge it, and it runs. And now, the Chinese have even taken that concept. Instead of trying to invent a car that does something drastically different, they simply created their own version of electric cars and now improved the performance so that the electric cars even run a lot faster on one full battery charge. And now there is a company in Japan that's now testing running the electric car on water, right? There's a way they work it to convert water to hydrogen, and they have that hydrogen power the car's engine. So you see, nobody said, you know what, we're going to create something new that moves people around that has never been created before, right? They took something that was already in demand and they made their own improvements on it. So that is demand. Now, the next is skills. Now, for you to create improvement, you need to have the skills and the expertise and the knowledge to create that improvement. So as you are looking at demand, also look at the skills that you have. Does your skill allow you to create these improvements on this idea that you want to work on? Can your skill allow you to bring new innovation into the sector or into the business or on the product? If you don't have those skills, then you need to go find somebody who has those skills and either find a way to pay them to supply their skills or partner with them and bring them into the company so that way, both of you complement each other. They bring in their own skills and then you bring in your own unique skills and you can launch that idea. And then, obviously, the third part of this Venn diagram is passion. You want to also make sure that you are picking an idea that you're not going to get bored of in 2 weeks. In fact, some people get bored of the ideas that they come up with in one day, right? You want to choose something that you're not going to be bored of in 2 weeks. Or in 1 month, or even in 1 year. In fact, you want to choose something that you are never, very, very likely, never ever going to be bored of. Because that is the only way that guarantees that you have staying power through all the difficult process of launching your business and growing the company. Because mark my words, you are going to be frustrated. You are going to fail many, many times. Even if you have everything perfect, you have the right investors, the right idea, you are talking to the right market. Because what you're trying to do is to find product market fit. As you're trying to do that, you are going to fail a lot of times. You're going to get frustrated. Suppliers are going to be late, right? Cash flow is going to be tight. Employees are going to leave in the middle of development. Government is going to change policy. What will allow you stay despite all the hiccups and all of the hurdles is how much passion you have in the thing that you're building. That's it. All right. So question 4, and it says, how do I stand out from my competitors? Oh, wow. Okay. So an easy way to stand out from your competitors, tell your story. There's a reason why every great business starts out with a story. Every great business person has a story. And let me tell you guys a secret. Sometimes those stories are false. Now, I'm not saying you should create a false story. I'm saying create a story. You want it to be as authentic as possible, right? What is Bill Gates' stories? Bill Gates is the founder or co-founder of Microsoft. What is his story? His story is that he was this young kid who had the bright idea to start a software company, and he called it Microsoft, right? Small software, micro software. But put it together, becomes Microsoft, and then he pitches his software idea to IBM, which was the biggest computer company at the time, 1982 or 1983, and then they buy this software and install it on their machines. That is the story. But what is the real story? The real story is that yes, he started the company, right? Yes, he created MS-DOS, right? Or depending on who you ask, he didn't create MS-DOS. He bought the rights to MS-DOS from somebody else. And then he pitched it to IBM. But the story doesn't tell you that his mom was on the board of IBM. So maybe, just maybe, his mother had something to do with IBM accepting the deal to install the software on their laptops. And maybe, just maybe, his mother had something to do with IBM not forcing him to sell the rights to the software to them completely, or to give them sole rights to that software. Because if either of these two would have happened, we wouldn't have Microsoft as we know of it today. And the story doesn't also tell you that his dad was one of the biggest, I think, lawyers of his time, one of the richest people in Seattle, Washington at the time, and that his father had a lot of influence in the state of Washington. So start with your story. Craft your own story. I have my own story that I tell every time. And I tell everybody my come up, how I was broke, right? And how I found a magazine on my way back to school, a magazine called Success Digest. And I read this magazine and I learned about selling online. And even though I had used the internet for 5 years, from 1998 to 2003, I didn't even know you could sell online. And in 2003, I figured out that you could sell online simply by reading this magazine. And reading this magazine led me to the publisher of the magazine. And getting to know the publisher of the magazine got me a mentorship role under him. And him mentoring me is the reason why I have all the businesses that I run today. So everybody needs to have a story. Whatever company that I build tomorrow, I'm going to craft a new story for that company and for that business. So you want to craft your story. Why do you want to start with the story? Because people don't just buy your product. They buy the person behind the product, and then they buy the story behind the product. Because the person embodies the story, and the story embodies the business. That is the reason why you want to have a story. So start with a story, craft your own story. Make sure it is a really, really sexy story that people can bond with, that people can identify with, that people can look and say, oh yeah, I want to support this. I want to support this, right? So question 5 is, what is the biggest mistake new entrepreneurs make? Now, this is a lovely question. And the answer is simple. New entrepreneurs try to do everything by themselves, alone. And I know this firsthand because I kind of still struggle with it even now that I have people do a lot of things for me. But it took me failing for a number of years and trying to do everything by myself. I tried to be the business CEO, tried to be the marketer, tried to be the business operations person, tried to be the graphic designer, tried to be the videographer, tried to be the customer service person, everything in one. And don't get me wrong, when you get started the first time, you probably need to be all of these things. But please, if you really want to build a business and you want to shoot into the sky as fast as possible, as soon as you start getting some money into your business, start delegating, start hiring people to do the things that you don't know how to do well. So for example, I'm not the greatest video person. I can edit video, but I'm sure there are a ton of people who can edit video a lot faster than I can and a lot better than I can, right? So instead of trying to edit my videos, just like the video you're watching right now, I hired someone to edit the videos. And now I can take that time that I've saved from not doing it myself and now go do something else. And to help you understand the intricacies and how to delegate things, there's a book I want you to go read. It's called 80/20 Marketing. It's by a guy called Perry Marshall. Perry Marshall is an absolutely brilliant business strategist. So go get that book, and it's going to help you introduce you to the concept of delegating things in your marketing. It's a book about delegating and not doing everything in your marketing. But inside of the book, they also recommend other books that cover other areas of business. All right. So that's it. Don't try to do everything alone. The essence of business is that it grows and that it employs people, and that business helps to feed other people who will then feed other people. And that's the way abundance spreads and economies grow and wealth happens. Right. Question 6 is, how do I market my business if I'm just starting out? Easy, guys. Another easy question. Brilliant question. Very easy answer. Start with content. Document your journey. Hey guys, I'm starting this business today, and every day I'm going to post a video of what I do to grow this business. Two things happen when you say this when you start a new business. One, you are documenting. Number two, you have committed yourself to actually doing the things that you need to do to grow the business, because you have said it to the world. Now the whole world is going to hold you to it, because you have told them that you are going to document. So if you don't document, you're failing them and you're failing yourself, right? So that's why you go out and you say it and then you do it, because it's a way to be committed to the process. So start with content, create content. If you don't know how to create content, here's a simple way to do it. Either write or do videos. Worst case scenario, do audio. Everybody has a phone these days. Your phone has a recorder. You can literally just open your phone app, open the recorder app, and talk. It is that easy to talk, right? So if you're afraid of being on camera, and why would you be afraid of being on camera? It's as simple as just holding out your phone, opening the video app, and recording yourself. But some people are very self-conscious, so they don't want people to see their face. They don't want people to see that they're not good looking or whatever it is, right? So they don't want to record their face. Now you don't even have to record your face. You can just talk over video. So you use a background. Very easy to know how to do this if you go to YouTube, right? How do I create a faceless video? Type that on YouTube and you see how to do that. So you talk over video, and now you have a video without your face in it, or you simply record audio and upload audio. Or if you don't want to do all of that, you just write. But I can understand that writing can be a pain for some people. So these other two formats work. So do content, guys, and put it on social media. Let people engage your content. Let people consume your content. And when people, and the great thing about content and creating content is that it bonds people to you. It makes people like you because now you have shown them something. And it doesn't matter if what you have shown them, this something that you have revealed to them, whether they know it before or whether they have heard it before, doesn't matter. What matters is that they have heard it from a different perspective, a fresh person, a fresh nuance. So create content, put it on all of the social media. Go to all of the social media apps, X, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. Yes, Pinterest too. TikTok, even Snapchat. Create an account on all of them. Preferably use the same surname across all of them. And when you create content, put that content on every single one of your social media accounts. Now, at the beginning, you're going to get maybe a couple of views, maybe 5 views, 10 views. Please don't be discouraged. You don't say, it's not working. I can assure you that it is working, because that is how every great social media marketing person or personality that you know today started. Everybody started from zero. Everybody, including myself, including the guy behind the camera, right? Everybody started from zero. So you are also going to start from zero, and then you are going to start with 1 view, and then 2 views, and then 10 views. Before you know it, you have 100,000 views and millions of views, and that is how it goes. So when you market your business, start with content. People gravitate towards content. People love content. And then in your content, have a call to action and send people back to make an inquiry and buy what you have for sale. All right. Question 7, it says, when should I quit my job to go full time? I would say, don't quit when you start, especially if you're already working. Why? Because very likely your current job is what is funding the business that you want to start. I know that everybody wants to be their own boss, but I can assure you that sometimes being your own boss is going to be the hardest thing you ever do. Being your own boss, you are going to be the hardest boss you ever had. Trust me on that one, right? Because now nobody is on your case to get you to get up and do what you need to do. You have to now get up by yourself, because if you don't, nothing gets done. And if nothing gets done, income doesn't come in. And if income doesn't come in, bills don't get paid. And if bills don't get paid, well, you know the rest, right? So I know it's tempting to try to quit, but don't quit immediately. Run your business for a while, do your business for a while, get money coming in. I believe that the time that you should begin to really, really think about leaving your job to go full time in your business should be when you are earning per month what you used to earn every 6 months in your job combined. When you begin to earn that per month, then you can now begin to relax and now begin to, to give yourself the liberty to think about quitting your job, because now you can easily pay yourself the same salary that you used to earn at your job and still have 5 months of runway each month to go. All right. So that's what you do with that. Question 8. What if my business fails? Now, this is another great question. Well, what if it fails? You have learned something a lot of people will never learn in their lives. You have learned that something won't work in a particular way. And the fact that you failed in a business doesn't mean that business will not work. It might simply mean that the way you went about it wasn't the right way. So you can tweak it, you can find a different way to go about it and then have it work. Many people try to create electric cars before Tesla and they failed. So what did Tesla do? They studied all of the ways people failed. You see why failure is valuable, right? Failure is not just valuable for you who failed, it's also valuable for other people to learn from. So they studied all the ways people failed and now created a better way to do it. You do it enough times and one day you're going to hit success and all of those failures will be a thing of the past, forgotten, because now nobody will care that you failed. Everybody will simply love that you have succeeded. Question 9 is, how do I stay motivated when things get tough? Oh, wow. This is another good one. You stay motivated by remembering why you started in the first place. What is your why? Why am I in my business? Why do I do the things I do every day? Why do I wake up every morning? I do it because of my family. I do it because of my daughter, my wife, my kids. I do it because of the people that I love in my life. I want to give them a great, great, amazing life where they don't have to start from the ground floor like I did, right? Where they have a leg up, where they have an advantage. And I do it also to prove a point to myself that I can do it, that I actually went out into the world and created something valuable that people loved and people spent money on. These are the two things that drive me every day. So you have to find your own why. Your own why can be different. Some people do it because they want to make the world a better place. They want to go out into the world and use the money that they make and make other people's lives better. So people do it for a diverse range of reasons. You have to find your own reason. So you have to sit down in quiet solitude and ask yourself, why really do I want to start a business? And if your answer is so that I'll make a lot of money and live comfortably, that is also a valid reason, so that you can have an easy life. That is also a valid reason. So if that is your reason, please don't think of yourself as being selfish. That reason is valid. So find your own reason, find your own why. And when the going gets tough, it is the reason why you started that keeps you going and keeps you jumping over the hurdles until you get to success land. Okay, so number 10 is, what is the one piece of advice you will give to every new entrepreneur? Don't wait until everything is perfect to start. Don't wait until everything is perfect. Start when you feel completely ready, because a lot of times by the time you feel ready, the advantage has already passed. The moment has already passed. The moment you should have seized has already gone. It has passed, right? And many times you don't get those moments again. You don't get those opportunities, don't come by again. So even when you don't feel fully ready, as long as your head says it's time to go, then go. Don't wait until everything is certain. Every T is crossed. Every I is dotted. Don't wait until then. Because a lot of times also, those moments never arrived. Those very perfect moments never arrived. I learned this in my own life and my own business journey, and I learned it late. So now I don't wait until everything feels ready. I don't wait until everything feels perfect, because what's the point? I'm going to start it once I feel anywhere between 60-70% ready, and then I'll figure out the rest as I go along. Because the most important thing is that it doesn't even matter how perfect everything is. Once you get started, problems will begin to rear their head. Issues are going to begin to come up. Things are going to begin to happen. Obstacles are going to begin to spring up. Hurdles will start showing up. So whether you started today or you started 12 months down the line, this is still going to happen. So why not start today and have them happen as quickly as possible, so that you can evade them and overcome them and get to the point where they are past, and then you begin to coast. So start even if you don't feel ready. So I hope answering these questions have given you a lot of insights about what to do, especially if you're a new business person. Always remember that you need a community around you as a new business person. That is something that I really, really need to add. You need people who are like minds, people who are in your sector, people who are also starters just like you are, because you can feed off each other's energy. You can motivate each other. You can support each other. You can encourage each other. You can cry together when things get really, really tough, so that you can laugh together when things get really, really good and enjoy together, right? So if you follow the guidelines that I've already shared in this video and you implement them in your own business, you are going to reach success fast, as quickly as possible. In fact, I don't just say that, I guarantee that. I guarantee that that's what's going to happen for you. So I hope you love this video. If you love the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel. We bring you videos like this every single week, and our goal is to give you ideas, especially new creators, new entrepreneurs. Our goal is to share our own experiences with starting our own business with you, so that you can go out there, build businesses that employ a lot of people, that grow the country's economy and makes the world a better place. So if you enjoyed this video, share with your friends, share it on all of your social media, and I'll see you guys again in the very next one. Have a good one.